It's Sunday, February 1st. We begin a new month, although we're going to enter February much like January with the cold being a very big presence. Now looking at our daytime highs for this first day of February across the country, we're trending colder than usual for many into the east, while the mild pattern is very much a factor into areas like Calgary, 5 degrees for the high. In fact, even parts of Saskatchewan and Manitoba could be getting in on the decent temperatures. But let's first take a look at this national pattern where we look into the first few days of February. And folks, it's looking like it's going to remain cold. This arm of frigid air dipping into southern parts of the country and eastern parts of Canada could really be impacting our temperatures by next weekend. I'll show you what I mean in just a moment. Let's first start off in northern Canada. Some pockets of light snow moving through over the next few days. Nothing super notable by the looks of it. That being said, we'll look at our daytime highs and wind chill values for our Sunday afternoon here, and for Iqaluit, some colder shots of air. It looks like Thursday, Friday, but all in all, a fairly stable temperature pattern. Now let's head to Atlantic Canada, a nor'easter, which we've been talking about through the weekend. Now, an important update, there's been a shift in the track of the system. So while we are still seeing some areas with very impactful snowfall totals and strong winds, look at St. John's, 50 plus centimeters. You'll notice there are some parts of Nova Scotia that have seen a significant reduction in the amount of snow forecast, as again, the system has sort of veered a bit further south offshore, but that all to say, we're still looking at some areas with very impactful weather on the way. You see into this evening, Halifax, a good chunk of Nova Scotia, into the heavy snowfall. All that spreads out into Newfoundland in the overnight hours and through our Monday. You see very localized weather impacts for Nova Scotia, while much more widespread for Newfoundland here. And again, areas seeing heavy snowfall teaming up with very strong gusts, making for what could be a Monday with lots of closures for areas like St. John's. But parts of Nova Scotia could also be dealing with some impossible travel conditions as well. Now, looking at those wind speeds really picking up early Monday for St. John's throughout the day. Those gusty winds will be wreaking havoc while paired up with the heavy snowfall rates. There's a look at the widespread winds, which will be a factor for parts of Nova Scotia, PEI as well. Now, temperatures for today, we'll see trending cooler, waiting the arrival of that system this evening. Let's talk about temperatures. I showed you that this cold bracket of air is going to be really pushing in late week into next weekend. Well, look at some of these daytime highs. For Toronto, yeah, we're trending colder than usual, but my goodness, look at the forecast for next weekend. A daytime high of minus 18 degrees. And for Montreal, it'll be a pair of days next weekend with some eye-popping daytime highs. Very cold weather looks to be on the way. We'll see how that forecast holds up. For the time being, we saw some cold warnings still in effect on our Sunday early on, and with that, we're looking at wind chill values for areas like Toronto and Prairies Sound at minus 13, and for southern Quebec, we're also on the colder than usual side. Now, other than the cold, not a whole lot else going on. We do see this pocket of snowfall into northern parts of Ontario for today. Might be making its way into more central and northeastern parts of the province into tomorrow and Tuesday. But we head to the west now, where it's quite the temperature divide. We can see the mild conditions continuing. Areas like Calgary, a high of 5, Victoria 11. Now there's a rainy pattern for southern BC. For the prairies, we're talking a bit of snowfall early on for Manitoba. That could combine with some gusty winds to make for some difficult travel, poor visibility. See another pocket of snowfall moving across parts of Alberta and Saskatchewan into tomorrow. Here's a look at those breezy conditions for Manitoba that will linger into the afternoon. So even blowing snow could remain a concern later into our Sunday. And those winds picking up for Alberta, it looks like, into Monday morning, more so southern Alberta. A look at our temperatures. Now, over the next few days, the mild pattern will really be the story into Alberta, but even areas like Regina getting above the freezing mark by midweek, and Winnipeg maybe having to wait until Thursday for the nice temperature improvement. As far as our conditions for southern BC, cloudy and rainy. That pushed in yesterday, continues for our Sunday. There's been some flooding concerns in parts of Vancouver Island, for example, Comox Valley, and yes, the rain will be Continuing here, look at that forecast where up to 100 millimeters for parts of Vancouver Island still to come. And the 7-day forecast shows a drier pattern for Vancouver, arriving by midweek with some very nice temperatures.